Dear friends, welcome to another episode of Geopolitical and Military News. In this video, we will discuss Israel's preparations for a decisive action against the Lebanese terrorists of Hezbollah. What can we expect from this? Will Lebanon turn into a new Gaza Strip? On October 8th, 2023, just one day after the horrific Palestinian terrorist attack by Hamas, which left more than 1,200 dead and 250 kidnapped in Israel, another terrorist group, Hezbollah from Lebanon, released a statement declaring it would attack northern Israel from Lebanon. According to its leader, Hassan Nasrallah, the attacks would be carried out with rockets and missiles. In fact, since October 8th, Hezbollah has launched an estimated 7,000 rockets against northern Israel, forcing the evacuation of 70,000 Israeli civilians, leaving villages and small towns up to 5 kilometers from the Lebanese border completely abandoned. At the start of Israel's offensive in the Gaza Strip to destroy the terrorist group Hamas, the Israel Defense Forces feared a ground attack from Hezbollah on the north of the country, which forced Israel to maintain a force estimated at several tens of thousands of soldiers in the region, tasked with containing a Hezbollah attack should their fears materialize. However, despite constant threats, the Lebanese terrorists have followed the same tactic: indiscriminate rocket and missile attacks, primarily targeting civilian areas. Hezbollah is a much larger and better armed terrorist group than Hamas. It was created by Iran in 1982 as part of an ambitious program to spread the Islamic Revolution, which took power in Iran in 1979 throughout the Middle East. Thus, Hezbollah has had a strong political component since its inception. Although the terrorists did not achieve their main goal of imposing an Islamic theocratic regime in Lebanon, similar to that of Iran, Hezbollah currently occupies about 12% of the seats in the Lebanese parliament. But it is the group's combat wing that concerns Israel, with the terrorists maintaining an estimated force of 100,000 fighters and an arsenal of tens of thousands of rockets and missiles, reportedly 7 or 8 times the size of Hamas's arsenal before the Israeli offensive on the Gaza Strip. This formidable force has led to significant wars with Israel, the last major conflict occurring from July 12th to August 14th, 2006, when Hezbollah terrorists invaded Israel, killed some soldiers, kidnapped 2, and took them to Lebanon. To recover its soldiers, Israel invaded Lebanon, initiating a swift conflict that left hundreds dead and thousands injured. When Israel withdrew from Lebanon, the UN passed Resolution 1701, deploying a peacekeeping force to southern Lebanon and obliging Hezbollah to withdraw its weapons and fighters from south of the Litani River, which runs about 29 kilometers from the Israeli border. However, as is evident from images and videos, Hezbollah is violating this UN resolution, maintaining a large and powerful arsenal near the Israeli border, which is being used to target civilian and military sites in northern Israel. Since Hezbollah's attacks began, Israel has responded with precision strikes, mainly targeting the group's terrorist leadership, eliminating dozens of commanders and key figures in the process. These actions included bold moves, such as the remote detonation of thousands of pagers and walkie-talkies that Israel knew were only used by Hezbollah fighters, resulting in nearly 3,000 injuries and several dozen fatalities among the terrorists. Despite Israel's requests and these more surgical actions, Hezbollah continues its attacks on northern Israel, leading high-ranking Israeli officials such as Defense Minister Yoav Gallant and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to publicly declare that they are preparing for more decisive actions in Lebanon to ensure the safe return of the 70,000 Israeli civilians driven from their homes. But what actions will these be? Could Israel invade southern Lebanon just as it did in the Gaza Strip? For obvious reasons, only the Israeli High Command knows this information. However, these more decisive actions announced by Israel's leadership could involve a bit of everything, with many sources believing that Israel's focus, at least in the coming hours and days, will be on intensifying airstrikes against Hezbollah's depots and further increasing the precision and intensity of attacks on the group's leaders and key figures in Lebanon. And although Israel has repeatedly stated that it does not want a large-scale war with Lebanon, we cannot rule out Israeli ground incursions into certain areas where there is a greater terrorist presence in southern Lebanon. Israeli airstrikes have greatly intensified since this past weekend, with missiles and bombs falling almost non-stop on southern Lebanon, and with Israel warning Lebanese civilians to stay away from Hezbollah's installations and members. With Hamas severely weakened in the Gaza Strip, now reduced to a fraction of what it was before the terrorist attack of October 7th, Israel is finally more free and comfortable to turn its growing strength against Hezbollah. However, unlike in the Gaza Strip, which Israel invaded and from where it said it would only leave once Hamas is destroyed, in the case of southern Lebanon, a large-scale invasion is not, at least for now, something that is expected to occur. Israel only wants Hezbollah to respect UN Resolution 1701 and withdraw north of Litani River, thus stopping attacks on Israeli towns and villages along the border. But if the terrorists continue with these attacks and refuse to respect the UN resolution, Israel will have no choice but to carry out incursions into Lebanese territory to expel them from there. Thank you for watching the video until the end. If you liked the content, don't forget to leave a like. This helps the channel grow and reach more people. If you didn't like it, leave a dislike and explain in the comments how we can improve. Also, comment with suggestions for topics we can cover in future videos. Insulting comments or those defending dictatorships or war criminals will be blocked without exception. Thank you for your understanding. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing by clicking the subscribe button below and hitting the bell to receive all notifications. Thank you. See you next time.